Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Nasdaq Spotlight. I'm your host, Anna Gonzalez, and we are here live at the Nasdaq market site in Times Square, and we are hosting the Intel Capital Tech Ventures Day. And joining me now is one of the featured speakers of today, Thomas Richter. He's the CEO of Swarm64. Thomas, thank you so much for joining us.
Anna, thanks a lot. Great to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your company and the problems that you seek to solve.
So when businesses try to do enterprise analytics, right, they know there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? You know there's a lot of potential in generating insights. But the usual problem that you also hear again and again is you're limited by resources, which could be money, which could be skills, which could also be, how complex you want to have your entire system architecture to grow. And so the problem we try to solve is basically we give efficiency and simplicity. And the way we do this is really building on two crucial foundations. And this is on the one side, modern data accelerators, like hardware accelerators, for example, from Intel. And on the other hand, we're really leveraging the open source environment and combining open source databases with that. So with those two pieces, we can give our customers really great efficiency.
That sounds fantastic. So tell me, let's dig a little deeper into that. What are you doing to tackle data and analytics specifically for big businesses?
So if you look at a business and how they run their analytics flow, usually you want something that slots right in and can easily enable these kind of efficiencies I was talking about. So as we are having our foundation, we have the great versatility and flexibility thanks to the open source DNA, but we also have the efficiency thanks to the hardware accelerators. So it's really those two pieces coming at play to then help the business to run the analytics. And our prime focus at the moment is enterprise data warehouse optimization. So if you look at enterprise data warehouses, this is kind of something that's been around for a very long time. We're optimizing them and we're looking at how does it hang together and how can you replace individual pieces easily to make the whole system more efficient.
And you mentioned a few different features. Can you talk a little bit more about what makes your company and your offering so unique?
Yeah, so again, let's go to a specific example. You're having your enterprise analytics flow, let's say typical kind of enterprise data warehouse optimization problem, and we go right in and we enable customers to retain that kind of long-term flexibility thanks to the open source DNA in our solution. What do I mean? It's really the ability to grow together with us. So today we're really focusing on enabling the existing business, but you might actually look in the future at things like machine learning integration or IoT integration or geospatial data, trying to figure out, for example, what your customers do. And this is the kind of problems we're also solving with this solution. We really give you the extensibility and the longevity of going the open source route. All that with that efficiency you need, because in the end, you want to replace a system with something that's equally powerful. Mm-hmm. That's where Swarm comes in.
And we have seen some examples. There's so many across every single industry. The more data you have, the better kind of decisions you can make. So can you talk to me a little bit more about that value of the data and then how your company really works to help bring the value of the business's analytics to life?
Yeah, so there's different dimensions to that. One is usually the time component. So let me take a specific customer case where, eventually the night was too short to run all the analytics. And since they every morning would depend on having that analytics available and kind of make sense of the data they've collected the previous day, so the whole organization could be very data-driven, that was a big problem. And we solved it by accelerating that flow with our solution, getting them the kind of efficiency levels they were looking for, and then allowing the organization to still be data-driven, even though they were growing very fast. And keep being a data-driven organization. At the other side, I would argue that companies sometimes have very complex challenges, like new data types, and you want to integrate all that and make sense of it. That's also something that plays to our flexibility and versatility. So these are really the two components in which people can get a lot of value out of our solutions.
So you talked about that flexibility and making sense of this data. Out of all of the different opportunities that you've seen, what do customers really value the most? What do they really like best about your product and company?
It fits right in. It's like you might do all sorts of complex analytics and you take our solution and there's always a way how you can make it happen in our solution. So it's that, in a way, this flexibility is a huge value, and that's very much based on our open source DNA. And at the same time, again, you wouldn't use it if it didn't have the performance you need, and that's the second pillar. So it's really those two pieces that play together. And yeah, that's what people tend to love.
So for people who are watching, just getting introduced to your company, where can they go to learn more?
So I would just recommend to go to swarm64.com. That's swarm64.com. And there's a contact us. You can just fill in, put a few infos about our like your use case and just contact us and we'll get back to you. And it's usually pretty easy to deploy. So we are always very confident based on a past experience that we can show return on invest very quickly.
So Thomas, as we wrap up here, for people who are watching and thinking, one day I want to be in his shoes, what advice do you have for the next generation coming up?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one is always, right, resilience. You want to follow your dreams and you want to kind of follow your passion. But at the same time, I would also encourage everyone who is trying to do something deep technology, keep digging at the problem. You will solve it eventually. And as I've seen personally and with this company, it's like the reward if you finally crack the code is great. So, you know, keep at it, don't give up, and push forward, and that's how you get here.
Well, those are great words to wrap up on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more right here from the Nasdaq Markets.